Hey there, this is Alex. I have return of our friend, this ESS BAB cylinder that we picked last week, I think, and had some issues with it. I think the video was called Can Do. So I have picked it again. You can see this, the plug is upside down. I've got a homemade little driver retainer, which I have very little faith in, but I'm going to give it a go. And I just want to see how this cam mechanism works. So I'm hoping that I can, without losing this thing, withdraw the Okay, I think we got it. Fuck. Well, I got one of them. Here's our plug, and with its pins in there. Machining is not exactly stellar. See all the little grooves on there? All normal. There we go. And the chambers actually do have what looks like a tiny bit of serration or countermilling. It may just be remnants of the manufacturing process. It's visible, but I can't really feel it with the pick. Now, at the back of the plug, you can see there are these little holes. Kind of interesting, haven't seen that before. A big slot. Now, let's see what is coming out of the cylinder at this point. Aha. So we have this thing, which I think wants to be either in or not in these holes. And I suspect that this is what engages the cam. So let's see what happens when we put the key in. Yeah, it pushes that out. Now, we did have a few theories that this had spools in it. I got really no counter rotation when I was picking it, but maybe a tiny bit, but nothing to write home about. But we do see a couple of spools here, and these are from chambers. Looks like 4 and 5. And a little tiny spring, which probably goes with that thing. Or shell rather. Here's the cam. I think you can actually see that pretty well with the light. And here's this little part. So this little part sits proximate to the bottom, so it looks like it can grab in one of those two, with this part grab in one of those two orientations there. Probably lets you set up the cam to have its side on one side or the other. And oh yeah, look at that. So when I rotated it back into position, the little tab on the other side popped out. You see that? It popped into here and locked this cam. So what would normally happen is the key would come in to the lock this way, and the end of the key would push that back via this this part, push this in, and knock that guy out of there. And then once that's out of the way, then the cam can actually turn. So we go in and push this back. Am I still in frame? Yeah. Push that back, and then it can turn. And then you can see that at a, whoa, that one's a little longer. And I guess those springs live down in there. But then at 90 degrees to that, it'll lock again, and that's what we saw in the video. So at like 12 o'clock and 9 o'clock, it will lock up on you. So it's going to be fun to put back together. So I've not seen a mechanism quite like this. It's pretty unique in my limited experience with Euro cylinders. But I think that's kind of cool. So I don't think I'm going to be able to get the rest of this apart very easily. And if I do, I don't think I'll be able to get it back together very easily. But yeah, so we'll deal with this later. So that's basically it. So you've got this, you've got a little slot that it wants to go into, and you've got one on the other side that's basically pushing against it. And this needs to clear that out of the slot, kind of like the cams, the little spinny cams on some of the other Euro cylinders. Clear that out of the way so that it can turn. The machining tolerances are nothing special on this, but not horrible, but it, you know, actually I take it back, the tolerances are all right, but the quality is just not all that great. But, you know, since I've brought it up, let's just measure it here. So get that zeroed. Here's the caliper, here's the plug. We'll measure across the sides. So 1298. Actually, it's pretty consistent around. Let's check another spot. 1299. There we are. And we'll come in the same spot in the core. So 308 or 1308. We had 1298, so that's 1/10 of a millimeter, which is like 4 thousandths. So that's not bad, especially for something I believe is made in East Germany. So it's not as pretty as some of them, but it is a decent little lock. So there you go. I'll also note one more thing. If you look at the plug, and you note, I don't have my metric ruler out. Yes, I do. You note the height from the top of the broaching to the shear line, which is just a little short of that. It's about, let's call that 4 millimeters. Okay, and then so that's where the key pins move up and down in there, right? And then the driver is another, I'm getting at something here, by the way. The driver is another 5 millimeters, something like that, right? So we have a total of, like, actually, yeah, we have a total of about 9 or 10 millimeters. If we look at the height of the Bible, I guess it's easier to see on this side. It's going to start down there. You can see that there's, what, almost 20 millimeters, 15, 18 millimeters height in there. And the top springs, which I can't grab, I don't know, but they don't look very big. So if we take the total height of these two pins together, so a little history lesson there, and that explains why these, and all you would have to do to make this better would be to make the drivers a few millimeters longer. There'd be plenty of room in there for them, and you wouldn't be able to overlift it. But, you know, such is life. Thankfully, that regime is gone now, and Germans, all the Germans can have good quality locks. So there we are. That is this lock gutted and the little mystery cam demystified. So there we are. This is Alex. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel if you like my videos. And as always, have fun, and please keep it legal. Cheers.